country, every tribe, the legends about the giants. And in Sardinia, there is the legend of the giants, and they find, and there are many, many of very big stone graves, and they all have the form of the bull's head. And they say, so old people, I met some very old gentlemen there, and they said that when they were young, Italian archaeologists excavated giants with over 3 meters, and they took the bones with them. But if you ask anybody officially, giants in Sardinia never existed. They built also in very hard stone, they built rooms going back from first to second to third, even to the fourth room with very small entrances. And this is the picture of a so-called giant grave. It's very big, and on the left side and right side you have the form of the horns, and on the back side the head of the bull. Very interesting also that they found even giant graves under the sea level. That means from a time where the sea was much deeper than in our days. This is a picture, a photo from Bimini Island, They found very big hand-worked stones, a lot of them, and as Edgar Cayce said, around Bimini they might find a pyramid from Atlantis. This one and the next photo was done by a Russian research ship. They found pyramid form constructions in 700-meter deepness. And now we are going to Yonaguni. Yonaguni is the southest island in Japan. And Professor Masaaki Kimura is doing researches since 1985. And the first what they found through a professional diver was a very big monument. You have here the drawing, how it looks. And until now, Professor Kimura has problems of the acceptance of this stone monument done by human, because the official archaeologists say it is natural. And he said, why it is natural? They said because the stairs are too big for normal humans, so that couldn't be made by human for human. But again, we have even in Japan the stories of giants. Maybe the people at those times were much taller than in our time. Here you have several pictures like this one in the center. It looks like a head. He calls it the Japanese Sphinx. But here you can see the huge work of a turtle. And there is a second one there of a big eagle or a very big bird. I mean, the nature makes many things, but I do not think that the nature can do a pyramid, can do a turtle and a big eagle. And a few months ago, Professor Kimura informed me that he even found a stadium with seat rows and stairs going up. I know that the nature can do a lot, but not a stadium like the Colosseum in Rome. Here you see how big and how perfect done is this monument. And most of all, if it's natural and the stone was broken down here, where are the stones? There are no stones close to this monument. Here, everybody of you know already the Piri-Reis map. Here you see how perfect it was. And that's the so-called World Stone Map. We found it in the year 2000 in a private collection with other 350 pieces which do not have any connection to any existing or known South American culture. This stone and the other artifacts were found in the year 1984 by engineer Sotomayor while he was in charge for gold digging for a British mining company. He found a tunnel system, and in there were those 350 pieces. This stone is about 350 kilos in weight. It's granite, and it has a natural quartz line, which you see here, but all the other things are encarved. And for example, it starts here on this side. You can see that there is an eye inlay. This is the area of approximately Israel or the Near East. From here, you can see Italy, Greek. The quartz line, the natural quartz line, goes over the Mediterranean, enters here into the Atlantic Ocean, and here you have one continent which does not exist in our days, and I think this shows Atlantis. Then it enters into South America, and here is another. This is the Bay of Guayaquil in our days, and here you have another inlay and another one going up, and here is a circle inlay, and that's exactly the place where all those pieces were found. This is also the place where we found the best water which exists on our Earth, because it has an energy, natural energy, up to 1.5 million bovis. Bovis was a French researcher. And the strongest water in Europe is the well of Fatima, which has 640,000 bovis, but this water in Ecuador has 1.5 million bovis, and it has silver and gold colloidal in nanomicroscopical form, so that means the silver and gold colloidal can go directly into the human cell. There are many legends that the kings were searching the water of life, and even we had some translations of Sumerian plates, and the translation was the gods were searching the water with gold. And I asked myself many times, why here, around this area where the Sumera were living, you have an inlay of an eye, and then showing exactly the place where this water is. And there is another continent here on this map, here, that's next to Asia. That's from the northeast Japanese island down further than Taiwan. And Professor Kimura told me, and he wrote also a book about the sunken continent Mu, that he thinks, because of his research, that from the northeast island of Japan, now Russia, until far under Taiwan, there once existed a long continent, and you have it here. And that means that this stone map should be at least older than 10,000 years, but then the big question, how could somebody make such a perfect map already 10,000 or more years before our time? This is a close-up. You can see here Iraq, Saudi Arabia, the Mediterranean, and the eye inlay, the long continent here, and this eye. And here again the line coming down here, and the inlay where the pieces were found, here where the circle is. This is the so-called pyramid with the shining eye. Even Jim used it for his new bestseller. So it means it is a very, very famous but also very, very old symbol. And this is the only existing really pyramid with the eye. It has exactly 13 steps, like the pyramid on the $1. And very strange, our exhibition where I showed this pyramid in original in Vienna, the opening was on 21st of June 2001, and this crop circle appeared in Eastfield in England on the 21st of June 2001. And the next circle, the pyramid with the eye, was showing on 21st of July 2002 in Beacon Hill. It's the pyramid with the eye and the 33 lines. 33, 7, 9, 13. Always in my research I find these numbers. The strange thing with this one and other artifacts found in Ecuador, that if you put black light on it, the eye shines really very, very strong. And the natural color is kind of light green and gray. And the most impressive for me was that on the bottom of the pyramid, you have here in gold inlays the Orion constellation and an unknown writing. This unknown writing we found on stones all over the world. In Ecuador, in Colombia, in Illinois, in Gloucester, France, in Calabria, Italy, in Turkmenistan, in Malta, and Rex Gilroy has some pictures on his website, and I found out that some of the stones he shows with unknown writing presents the same writing. That means there must have existed a global civilization long, long time ago. And there was only one man able to translate this language, Professor Kurt Schildmann. He was the president of the German Linguistic Association. He spoke and wrote more than 40 languages perfect. And he could translate this writing, and he called it pre-Sanskrit, because it's older than the oldest writing. And the translation of these 4 letters on the bottom of the pyramid was, "The Son of the Creator comes." And when an American professor with his Tuareg friend from Northern Africa, Tuareg, was watching this picture on a Project Camelot interview, he was contacting me, and he was informing me that his Tuareg friend was shocked when he saw this writing, because he said it looks like our former writing, and one sentence he could translate, that was "son." And the Tuaregs are on the research of Professor Marcel Homais. He was a famous French archaeologist, and he was writing a book, and he was writing that the Tuaregs, on his research, had a connection to the sunken continent Atlantis. And even if you read the Bible, there is the sentence, until the building of the Tower of Babel, the whole human spoke one language. And we found definitely stones with the same writing all over the world on different continents. And for example, the stones from Gloucester, France, they were found already in 1924. So who could have been able to make stones before 1924 and bring them from South America to North America, even to Australia, in the hope that one day archaeologists find it and they break their brain, what could it be? Here you have one artifact from the same place showing how to hold the pyramid. You see here the 2 eyes, you see the right hand, on the right hand the pyramid, and on top of the pyramid the left hand. On the next stone you see a man sitting on a stone, holding the pyramid, having something flat like a helmet on his head, with a kind like antenna going up to this object. From his eyes, rays are going out, and here you can see 2 both men or people. And here is the helmet, a flat metal helmet, and here you can see that something was broken away. Maybe this was this helmet, and this antenna was not found there. Another strange artifact is this big cup with 12 little cups. On the big cup you have a perfect star constellations, and we did research with a computer program, astronomical program,